Hi guys and welcome back again to the Tech YouTube channel. In front of us stands first ever X99 motherboard based on the Mini ITX form factor. First one even if you take into consider the former X79 and X58 enthusiast chipset before it, coming from ASRock with the name of X99E-ITX AC. This model is also amongst the first motherboards which support USB 3.1 standard, as you can notice that right out the box. Next to it we have a really rare sight, and that's a picture of the motherboard, which you usually don't see on the front of the ASRock's product box, but they obviously wanted to emphasize on the Mini ITX form factor in conjunction with the X99 platform, which is, as we said, the first and the only X99 motherboard on the market that comes in this form factor. On the front of the box below the picture you can also see an array of features, amongst them being M.2 support, dual Intel LAN, included 802.11 AC Wi-Fi module and free bundled CPU cooler, more on that later on. Going to the back of the box you can see even more detailed overview of the motherboard, some talk about the USB 3.1 standard and other implemented features, as well as a list of technical specifications. Opening up the box, here we have some user manuals of course, IO shield, SMA antennas for the Wi-Fi, screw for the module and the module itself, USB 3 to USB 2 header adapter, a 2U socket mounting plate for CPU water cooling solutions, 2 SATA cables, a holding bracket for an add-on card, another more elegant looking Wi-Fi antenna, here's the box with the bundled cooler, and finally here's the motherboard itself. Taking a closer look at the motherboard, there isn't much to talk about since the Mini ITX form factor is locked down size-wise, but despite of that the amount of features which ASRock put on it is pretty compelling, especially considering that the LGA 2011 V3 socket takes almost half the space of the motherboard PCB. The design of the motherboard is pretty standard looking, coming from ASRock with its blue and black theme. The component layout is somewhat different than your usual example of Mini ITX motherboard, since the RAM slots are rotated for 90 degrees and put on the top. Since we have two of them, you can only have a dual channel configuration of DDR4 memory and not a quad channel configuration as it's usually seen on the X99 platforms. Maybe in the near future we are going to see a variant of this model when SODIMM DDR4 RAM becomes available, and with which they could easily fit 4 upright slots on the Mini ITX motherboard. Going further around the board you can see that 8-pin and 24-pin EPS and ATX power connectors switched places, while the PCI Express X16 slot is on its usual spot. Above it we have a little surprise in the form of SATA Express connector consisting of 2 SATA 3 ports, right above it USB 3 header and a clear surface for the M.2 module for up to 80 mm. Right around that area you can also see the S-Media third-party controller chipset for the USB 3.1 support. On the right side of the motherboard in the bottom corner you'll find 4 more SATA 3 ports, audio, system panel and fan headers, and diagonally opposite of that we have an upright half-size mini PCI Express slot for the Wi-Fi module and a CMOS battery glued behind the row of the back panel IO ports. Speaking of that, going back there you'll find 2 USB 2 ports, combo PS2 port, clear CMOS button, eSATA 3 port, 4 USB 3 ports below 2 Intel's gigabit LAN ports, 2 USB 3.1 ports, and the usual set of analog and digital audio inputs and outputs. Taking a closer look at the bundled cooler, you'll get a pretty standard 2U low-profile CPU cooler, which you can usually find in server racks. It has a big chunk of aluminum fins and 4 heat pipes that go directly into contact with CPU, all cooled off with a single 60mm fan. It will definitely do its job of cooling any model Haswell E CPU, but don't count on it to be quiet or to provide good overclocking potential. Thank you once again guys for checking out our unboxing and preview of the ASRock X99E-ITX motherboard. Feel free to give us a thumbs up if you like this video, leave a comment down below if you have any questions about the product, and of course, if you would like to see more content like this you can subscribe to our Tech YouTube channel or you can check out our other videos from before.